Hello and welcome to this session. My name is Ashutosh, and today we are going to talk about machine learning. In few of my previous videos, I have already discussed about what is artificial intelligence, how is it interlinked with data science, and we have also understood that within artificial intelligence, we have a subset which is called machine learning. Within machine learning, we have again a subset which is called deep learning. So specifically for today, we are going to focus on machine learning. We are going to understand the different types of machine learning, and we are going to see some real life use cases with respect to machine learning. So without any ado, let us get started. Okay, so in the previous video of mine, I have already discussed the basic fundamental wherein I have explained that if this is your artificial intelligence, if this circle denotes your artificial intelligence, within artificial intelligence you have a subset which is machine learning, and within machine learning you have something called deep learning. Okay, so our focus of discussion will be machine learning today. Now, as the name suggests, machine learning, isn't it? So machine learning is basically what? The way how machines are going to learn. Now here when I say machines, I'm not actually talking about some, big machines. When I say machine learning, I'm actually talking about the algorithms, the programs. Okay. So machine learning is in a very simplistic way, the way how which algorithms learn something. Now what are they going to learn? They learn, okay, they learn how to mimic human beings. Okay, they learn human pattern, I can say human pattern, human pattern of thinking, human pattern of speaking, human pattern of perceiving the information, and a lot more things. So machine learning is a way how artificially we can give some sort of learning to the algorithms. If we are able to do that, and if these algorithms are able to behave in a manner which is similar to human beings, then we can say that we have been able to achieve something called machine learning. Okay. So when I talk about machine learning, it is classified into various forms, or it is classified into various types. The first and foremost type of machine learning is called supervised machine learning. Supervised machine learning. The second category that we have is called unsupervised machine learning. And thirdly, we have something called reinforcement learning. We have something called reinforcement learning. Now, what happens is supervised machine learning has a specific way of learning the pattern. Unsupervised learning has another way of learning the pattern, and reinforcement learning specifically, this reinforcement learning is an amalgamation of robotics and IoT. Okay, robotics and IoT along with artificial intelligence. So when all these things gets combined together, you get something called reinforcement learning. So that is not a matter of discussion for us as of now. We will primarily be focusing on something called supervised machine learning and unsupervised machine learning, because these are core integral part of machine learning. Reinforcement learning also is an integral part, but because it involves along with artificial intelligence, it also involves robotics, IoT, and all these things. That is why it is more of a hybrid learning pattern that we have. So our domain of understanding, our specialization area will be supervised machine learning and unsupervised machine learning. But just for you people to know what is there, we have also introduced the term reinforcement learning. Now, the basic difference between supervised machine learning and unsupervised machine learning is that here, in case of supervised machine learning, the data that you have, in the previous videos, I have already talked about what data is and what data would comprise. When I say data, I don't only mean CSV files, Excel sheets, and all these things. Data encompasses a lot more than that. So if you have watched the previous video, probably you will be able to understand. In case you have not watched it, please go through and revisit this video again. Okay, so the difference between supervised machine learning and unsupervised machine learning lies in the kind of data they both are using. So supervised machine learning uses something called labeled data, whereas if I talk about unsupervised machine learning, the data which is used is unlabeled. Okay, now what does that mean? Labeled data would mean that you would have input, you would have output, both, and what you are going to do is you are going to make future predictions. You are going to make future predictions. I'll be giving you examples here, need not worry. Just bear with me for some time and then we will understand these terms in a much more holistic manner with the help of real world use cases. Okay, so supervised machine learning uses labeled data, and when I say labeled data, it means that you will have both input and output at your disposal, and you will use both of them to create future predictions, right? That is the idea of supervised machine learning. However, in case of unsupervised machine learning, you have something called unlabeled data. Now, in case of unlabeled data, what happens is you have input, but you don't have output. Okay, you have input, but you don't have output. Using the input, what you are going to do is you are going to generate patterns. Okay, using the input, you are going to generate patterns, and then you are going to do some sort of output you are going to create. Okay, hopefully this basic understanding is clear to us. Supervised machine learning, labeled data. Labeled data means input and output both, and using both of them, we will make future predictions. Unsupervised means you will have unlabeled data, means you will have only input and you will be making some sort of output from it. Okay, this is the idea. Now, supervised machine learning is further classified into something called regression and classification. Let me use a different color. Supervised machine learning is further classified into regression and classification. Whereas if I talk about unsupervised machine learning, it is classified into, it has just one classification, very simple. It is classified into something called clustering. Okay, so it is going to involve something called clustering, right? So clustering in unsupervised machine learning, regression and classification in case of supervised machine learning. Okay, hopefully this much of understanding is clear to you all. Now, when I say regression, it means that I will have input data, I will have output data, and I will be making future predictions. Let us understand this regression with the help of an example. Let's say, let's say I have a person. The name of this person is, let's say, A, and this person A has shared a data set with me. He has shared a data which looks something like this. It has column like month, salary, and savings. So month, salary and savings. This is the data which this person A has shared with me. Okay. For the month of January, person A earns 50,000 rupees and he could save 25,000 out of it. Okay. In the month of February, this person A again earned 50,000 rupees and he could save, let's say, 20,000 this month. Maybe he had some expenses, he could save 20,000 this month. In the month of March, this person A had his sister's marriage. He earned 50,000, that is fine, but because he had his sister's marriage, he had to invest money, he had to organize all those functions that are there, and that is why he could only save 5,000 rupees. Okay, he could only save 5,000 rupees. The remaining were used in decorations and all those facilities that we provide, right? In the month of April, what happened? In the month of April, again, he earned 50,000. And this time, because there were no such expenses, he could again save 25,000 very nicely. In the month of May, he earned 50,000 rupees, but unfortunately, this person A met with an accident, because of which he had to visit hospital. It had its own expenses, and that is why he could save only 10,000 in the month of May because of his accident. In the month of June, again he earns 50,000. He has recovered and he was able to save 20,000. This process will continue. Okay, this process will continue. What you are expected to do is, see, two things are not going to change. What is not going to change? The salary is not going to change. This is the assumption. Okay, the month you cannot alter. After June, you will have July. You cannot change that. You cannot have August after June. After July, you will have August. After that, this process will continue. So as it is, these two columns you cannot modulate as per your wish. What you are supposed to do in machine learning, specifically in supervised machine learning, that too in regression, what you are supposed to do is you are supposed to calculate the future values, right? So future values for what? Future value for the month of July, how much amount of savings he will be able to do, and future value of savings with respect to August. This kind of future prediction, if you are able to do using regression technique, then we say that you have been able to perform supervised machine learning. Okay, how is it done? What sort of algorithms do we use? That is a different topic of consideration. Today, in this particular video, we are just understanding the basics. We are having a bird's eye view of the entire topic that we have, right? So instead of getting into the details of how is it done, let us understand that how things are supposed to be understood at the very first place. What does that mean? What all these terms mean? Let us understand things from the very basic perspective. So what these terms mean, we are going to understand that. If we are able to do that, possibly in future, understanding the complicated parts of machine learning will be a cakewalk for you people. Okay, so this is what we have. Now, this was example of regression. Similarly, another example that we can have for classification could be very simple. You can think of classification as classifying a person who is diabetic from that of a person who is non-diabetic. That is classification, binary classification. Similarly, you can have a classification. Let's say if you open your Gmail inbox, over there you might have seen that okay, you are able to see, let's say, 4 or 5 emails in your inbox, and then there are 2 3 emails in your spam folder also. Okay, so classifying a new email as spam or ham means a good email, email that you can rely on. So whether the email that you are getting is spam or ham, that kind of classification you can do. Again, it is a binary classification. So multiple kind of classifications are possible, binary in nature and multi-class classification as well. So when I say binary, it means two classes will be involved. When I say multi-class classification, it means that I will have more than two groups or more than two classes where I will have to do the classification, right? So regression and classification, this is how they operate. If I talk about unsupervised machine learning, what did I say? You had unlabeled data, you had input only, and what were you supposed to do? You were supposed to generate patterns. Can you see P written here? P signifies pattern. So from the input data, you are going to generate patterns and then you are going to come up with some output. Let us understand this. Let us understand this in detail. Let's say I have a basket with me. Okay. Let us imagine I have a basket with me. Okay. This is a basket with me. And let us assume in this basket I have few apples. Okay, I have few apples, they are randomly arranged, and I have few bananas as well. Few apples and few bananas in this basket of mine. Okay, and they are all haphazardly arranged, there is no proper orientation whatsoever. Okay, so this is a basket or this is a box with me, right? What am I supposed to do? I am supposed to cluster all the apples together and I am supposed to cluster all the bananas together. Why am I emphasizing on the word cluster, guys? That is simply because here I have mentioned, so sorry for this, here I have mentioned that unsupervised machine learning will involve something called clustering. So let us understand what sort of clustering it is going to do and how exactly this clustering is going to happen. Okay, so you have a box with few apples and few bananas. What are you going to do? You are going to perform clustering on it, clustering on it, so that what happens is you are going to get a box, okay, where all the bananas are situated together, are clustered together, and all the apples are clustered together. So the base of clustering is what? Something called similarity. There is a topic called similarity, cosine similarity, which we study. So similarity is the basis on which you are going to perform clustering. What sort of similarity are we going to look for? Let's say if I'm talking about apples. So all the apples that we have, they are almost of the same shape. They are almost of the same size, right? Same color, same taste. So these are your attributes with respect to apple that you will have to check for. Okay. So let's say you are checking these apples and you could figure out that okay, I had six fruits in my basket or I had six fruits in my box which were having a lot of similarity in terms of shape, size, color, taste, all these things. Okay, so all these six fruits have been now clustered together and they have been separated from the remaining fruits or the remaining fruit rather, which is called banana. So how many bananas do we have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 bananas. Again, a clustering will be done with respect to bananas as well, guys. Again, what sort of parameters are we going to use in order to cluster bananas? Same parameters. Shape of banana, almost the shape of all the bananas are similar. The size of all the bananas are similar. The taste of all the bananas are similar, right? So these are the parameters based on which we are going to cluster these fruits. And again, I would like to emphasize clustering is done on the base of something called similarity. So first of all, you will have to generate similarities between the fruits that you have, and only then you will be in a state to cluster them into different many groups. Okay, this is something which can be achieved from an unorganized form of representation to a organized form of representation, from a raw state to a clustered state. This can be achieved when you apply clustering. So with this, we have understood the base of machine learning. We have understood that machine learning includes supervised machine learning, unsupervised machine learning, and reinforcement learning. Reinforcement is not a topic of our discussion because it is kind of a hybrid learning model. Our focus of discussion is supervised machine learning and unsupervised machine learning, wherein supervised machine learning includes regression and classification. Unsupervised machine learning uses clustering. Then regression means you are going to make future predictions, and because regression is applied on supervised machine learning, you can rest assured that you will have both input and output data. And using that, you are going to make future predictions. Same is applicable for classification. Because it is also a part of supervised machine learning, it will also have input and output data, and future classification is going to be done. Like you will have attributes of a person with respect to his health, like what is the BMI, what is the insulin level, and many more things. And then you are supposed to classify that person into a diabetic person or a non-diabetic person, right? As a diabetic person, or you can say as a healthy person, right? So input and output data both are available in case of regression and classification. If I talk about unsupervised machine learning, it involves something called clustering, and clustering will be working on unlabeled data. That means you will have input only, no output, and using similarities in your input data, you are going to perform something called clustering. Hopefully this session was intuitive for you. You could understand few things from here. Hope to see you all in the next video. Thank you all and stay tuned.